My husband made a toast to his mother at our baby shower, not to me. She's the one rearing our child, he said. Kelsey was only the vessel. And with that, nobody saw me slip out the door that night. But something that arrived at their door the following morning made a difference. "She's the one raising our child," Austin declared, grinning, lifting his champagne flute as if he were proud of the declaration. Instead of toasting me, his wife, the mother of his unborn child, his mother stood and said, "Kelsey's just the vessel God chose." The room erupted into thunderous applause, and something inside me shattered, more than the glass I had intentionally dropped at my feet. That night, at 7 months pregnant, I finally heard the truth they'd been whispering all along. But the suffocation? That had started far earlier than that humiliating moment. It started slowly, like a room running out of oxygen. So gradually you don't even notice until you're gasping for air. When I started teaching at Oak Ridge Middle, I was Kelsey Watson, a recent graduate from Henderson, Ohio, a small town with just under 9,000 residents. The brick schoolhouse with its squeaky floors and antique architecture became my second home. Inside my classroom, lined with inspirational quotes and student artwork, I felt purposeful. Helping 7th graders navigate the chaos between childhood and adolescence gave me something to believe in. "Ms. Watson, will we ever actually use Romeo and Juliet in real life?" Zach Peterson asked during 3rd period. I smiled, answering with the confidence of a teacher instilling critical thinking. If only I'd used those same critical thinking skills in my own life. Maybe then I would have seen the red flags. Maybe I would have questioned why Austin Miller, handsome, successful, and from a prominent local family, was always accompanied by his mother, Joseline, even on our dates. "Mom's opinion means a lot to me," Austin explained. Even when it was just about what movie to watch, I found it charming. A man who loves his mother must respect women. Right? Wrong. By the time we got married, the pattern had already been set. Our honeymoon changed from the beach cottage I found to a mountain resort, just 3 blocks from our house. Even our wedding dinner was curated around her dietary preferences. Austin kept leaving the table to take calls from her. I remember Barbara, my co-worker, saying, "That's just the Millers. Since his dad died, that woman's had him wrapped around her finger." I thought the pregnancy would change things, make me matter. Instead, I disappeared even faster. My first prenatal visit was supposed to be magical. I imagined Austin holding my hand as we heard our baby's heartbeat for the first time. Instead, I lay on the examination table as Joseline burst into the room behind him. "She's been a nurse for 30 years, Austin told the obstetrician. "She knows what to look for." Dr. Richardson smiled politely. "I know. But for privacy reasons," Joseline cut her off. 3 pairs of eyes turned toward me. I swallowed the familiar weight of being outnumbered. "I guess it's okay," I murmured. The sound of our baby's heartbeat filled the room. Should have brought me joy, but Joseline was already asking about percentiles and measurements. When I finally asked a question, Dr. Richardson answered it, while looking at her. By the next appointment, Joseline brought a list of concerns. By the 3rd, she was dictating my diet and workout. By the 4th, Austin had been convinced that Dr. Richardson wasn't experienced enough. They transferred my care to Dr. Myers, an older man who had delivered Austin himself. "I didn't sign off on that transfer. I wasn't even told." "You were too busy with work," the receptionist said. "Your mother-in-law took care of everything." When Joseline and Austin strolled in, fresh from a lunch I hadn't been invited to, Austin patted my shoulder. "You're signing the transfer papers. Mom thinks Dr. Myers is the best in the state." "I like Dr. Richardson," I said quietly. "Myers will know what's best for the baby," Joseline replied. Her voice was soft. Her eyes were iron. The message was clear. "Your comfort doesn't matter. Only the baby does. Only the Millers do." Lisa Matthews saw it. We had worked together at Oak Ridge for 6 years, shared duties, shared walks to the parking lot. "You've been quieter lately," she said gently. "Everything okay with the baby?" "The baby's fine," I replied automatically. "I didn't ask about the baby," Lisa said. "I asked about you." And just like that, tears came. I was always just tired, just hormonal. But Lisa wasn't fooled. She asked, "When was the last time you did something for yourself?" I couldn't remember. Jocelyn picked out my clothes. She gave me grocery lists. She even influenced my classroom decor because bright colors were too garish for education. I defended Jocelyn every week, even as I slowly faded away. The day Lisa said, "You're starting to disappear," I came home to find Jocelyn directing delivery men in our nursery. They were setting up a heavy cherrywood crib I had never seen before. "What happened to the white one we chose together?" I asked. Austin shrugged. "We had already bought it." Jocelyn ran her fingers across the dark wood. "This one's from the attic," she said. "Much safer. A real heirloom." It didn't matter that we had the money for anything we wanted. What mattered was that I had made a choice, and she had erased it. And then came the shower, the battlefield of my slow erasure. The invitations were pale blue, celebrating the arrival of another Miller, not our child. When I asked why it didn't mention me, Austin muttered, "Mom thinks it's a boy." My preferred venue, a cozy tea house, was vetoed. Instead, it was held in the same church hall the Millers used for everything. My suggestion to ask guests to bring a book instead of a card was brushed aside. "Already have Austin's baby books from the attic," Jocelyn said. She had even ordered custom monogrammed baby albums for the Miller family. On the morning of the shower, I reached for the yellow sundress my sister had given me, a color that made me feel alive. Jocelyn had sent a pale blue maternity dress instead. "You're not wearing that, are you?" she asked. "I like this one," I said. "My sister picked it out." Austin narrowed his eyes. "Just one day, Kelsey. Can't you do what makes Mom happy?" So I changed. As I buttoned the high, conservative collar, I barely recognized myself. Where was the vibrant teacher who once backpacked through Europe? Where was the woman who debated politics and literature with passion? She was gone. Breath by breath, choice by choice. The blue dress was just one more layer of suffocation, and I had no idea. The breaking point was coming.